Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I appreciate your time. Thank you for watching another quick video today. Yesterday, Elizabeth Warren released a very big, comprehensive gun safety bill, is what she's calling it, in time for Monday, which is, of course, the Iowa caucus. You know she's going to be talking about it. My apologies, this lady technically comes from my state. She's horrible. She hasn't done anything for our state. In fact, she hasn't even been in the state to be a senator because she's too worried about running the show as a president. She'll never win, hopefully. But I want to go over this bill because it's a big one. So what she did was she took a bunch of bills that have already been proposed over the last 2 years by her counterparts in the Senate and made one big bill out of it. So her bill, I have a link to her bill down below. I don't think it's been given a number yet because the copy I have doesn't have a number on it. But the title of this bill is the Gun Violence Prevention and Community Safety Act of 2020. And there's a lot of stuff in here. I'll also have a link down below to the bill summary, which kind of bullet points everything. Before I get into it, I'm going to tell you that there's also a House version that is being submitted too by Representative Hank Johnson. So these two are working in cahoots to try to take guns from everybody. And I'm going to go down the bullet points real quick. Again, links are down below and everything, but you're going to want to hear this one. It looks to create, among a ton of stuff, create a federal gun licensing system. It would establish a federal gun licensing system that requires individuals to obtain a federal or qualifying state-issued license to purchase or own a firearm or ammunition. Now, I want to remind everybody that Pennsylvania had a case in the Supreme Court many years ago, and it said that you could not charge a fee for a constitutionally guaranteed right. You know these aren't going to be free. This turns a right into a license. This is unconstitutional. It's a cash grab. Also, we'll encourage states to create their own gun licensing systems. So if you have what is permitless carry or constitutional carry, and it's been working well, Elizabeth Warren is looking to have this bill go through to destroy constitutional carry nationwide. They also want to strengthen background checks. They're already strong enough, but this would look to require the quote-unquote universal background check. What that would do would be to remove the person-to-person sale and to remove gun shows, because you would have to get a background check for everything, even though in states, if you do a person-to-person, people already have gone through the background check. It's been legal for eons, but Democrats just found out about this last few years, so it's evil. Would also close the mythical Charlestown loophole and mandate reporting of background check denials. Already happens. However, under the Obama administration, they never prosecuted anybody who lied on the background checks, because that would put criminals in jail, and we're not about that. If you're a Democrat, you don't want to put criminals in jail. You want to keep the criminals coming so that they can vote you in, year after year after year. The next thing it would look to do would be to keep guns out of the wrong hands. It would ban individuals who present safety threats from buying guns. That would include, among others, individuals subject to restraining orders, convicted of misdemeanor stalking offenses, or with outstanding arrest warrants. So, with that part said, it is totally possible in every single state in the union to not pay excise tax, or parking tickets, or speeding tickets. Something that is completely civil, not criminal in nature, but if you don't pay those, the state can and usually does issue an arrest warrant so that you pay those, or they suspend your license. So for here in Massachusetts, like excise tax, it's a tax to use the roads based off the value of your vehicle. They put out warrants if you don't pay for it. So if you have a warrant for a fee for a government strong-arm tax larceny of your money, they're going to take away your Second Amendment rights because you didn't pay them a fee. That's what this bill would do. It would also establish a federal red flag law, point blank. They have all kinds of stuff on why you need it, but it's a federal red flag law. It violates due process, violates the First Amendment, the Fourth Amendment, the Fifth, the Sixth, the 10th, the 8th, the 4th, everything. The entire way the country was designed is violated by the red flag. This would establish a national one. It would also crack down on gun theft. Really? A piece of paper would crack down on gun theft. But it would create a series of security infrastructure requirements for licensed gun dealers, including secure gun storage, secure systems, and anti-theft alarms. Yeah. It would ensure responsible gun use and storage. I would raise the minimum age for buying a firearm from 18 to 21. So if you're one of those military folks that these liberals have thrived off of by sending you to war, you're not good enough to have a gun back here on the homeland just to fight for our oil and stuff. It would create a 7-day waiting period for all firearm sales. It would ensure safe gun storage by requiring all firearms sold to be sold with a locking device, or require owners to keep their guns securely stored when not in use. So you would have to keep your gun locked all the time unless it was actually physically on you. It would also create gun-free zones every school in the nation, even though schools and states have taken it upon themselves to allow their teachers to arm themselves to keep the kids safe. It's been working. Haven't had one issue since, but old Lizzie doesn't like that. Here's the funny part. It would keep weapons of war off our streets. I would ban any type of AK or AR. They term them assault weapon ban. That's their term, not mine. And other lethal accessories, to include large capacity ammunition magazines, bump stocks, trigger cranks, and require owners of military style assault weapons to register them under the National Firearms Act. So if you had a 22 caliber, Smith & Wesson AR, you would have to register it as an NFA item. Yeah. So this would this would bring back the Clinton assault weapon ban that had sunsetted and did no good for crime, mind you. Would also create a voluntary federal buyback program. How can you buy back something that you didn't give me? You didn't sell me. Stay off my stuff. It's my property. They would also, quote unquote, ban untraceable and undetectable firearms. That would be your 80% lowers and your 3D printed lowers. They don't want those. Those are very scary. I would also crack down on gun trafficking. They would ban bulk gun purchases. So if you go to your local shop and you want to buy a revolver and a shotgun and maybe even a rifle, nope, can't do that because that would be illegal. It would enhance federal record keeping of gun sales. That's a registry. It would repeal the Ty-Hart Amendment, and that has to do with the way firearms are traced according to law in the country. She would also want to hold the gun industry accountable for wrongdoing. This would remove the insulation that if somebody goes out and shoots somebody with a Smith & Wesson, it's not the criminal's fault. It's got to be Smith & Wesson's fault. That would allow the liberal folk to sue Smith & Wesson. So this would remove that immunity that manufacturers have for products they make that sometimes a small part of the populace that have them, those criminals, when they do criminal acts, don't want to hold the criminal accountable. It's got to be the maker of the item. They would look to regulate firearms for consumer safety. They would also authorize U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission to address safety defects in firearms. It would also raise the excise tax on gun sales to 30% and ammunition sales to 50%. Taxation without representation. Liz, what did that get us last time? And you're pushing for it. It would also invest in research and community-based gun violence prevention. This would take $100 million and put it into a fund. Every year they would put $100 million towards federal research into gun violence. That's pretty easy. Criminals kill people. They're the criminals. Just put them away. The laws are already in the books. Give me $100 million. I just solved it. $50 million would go to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and another $50 to the U.S. Department of Justice. And then it would be another $100 million a year that they would invest in community-based gun violence intervention programs. They want to fund people like David Hogg to come and take your rights and rally, get those kids who don't know anything to fall in line. So that is what is proposed. It is now, it is in the Senate. It's going to the House, I think, today. I will have, again, a link in the description. You can read that bill, and I'll also put that little fact sheet there as well. Elizabeth Warren looking to make a name Monday at the Iowa caucus. Huge gun control bill, guys and gals. Spread it. Thumbs up if you could so more people see it. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Until we see each other again, I'm sure there'll be another stupid bill that some state or some politician puts in. I'll have it here on Guns and Gadgets. Be safe, stay vigilant, and carry your weapon. Take care, everybody.